He competes for the Capital Club here, 15 years old, and this is on the vault.
All right, there's the Yurchenko style in the piked position. Once again, that's a 9.5 start value.
Yurchenko style?
Yurchenko is a famous gymnast from the former Soviet Union. Natalia Yurchenko, who invented this vault in the early 80s and really revolutionized the style of vaulting. She was the first gymnast to go backwards over the horse.
And this is when they were actually going over the horse before the vaulting table took its place in gymnastics. And I guess you can gamble a little bit more, be a little more creative now with the vaulting table?
Absolutely. It's much safer. It's a large surface. It's ramped. It's got a little bit of a springiness to it, so it's safer. It's better for the athletes, and it's another advance in the equipment that has allowed the gymnast to do more complicated skills. You don't have to be quite as accurate on the reach to the vaulting table as you did on the vaulting horse.
8.95 for Sherry Yang, according to the judges on the vault. And now we go to Olivia Courtney, her first vault.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, that was interesting. She did also the Yurchenko style, but she came on very high, and you'll notice she barely gets her hands onto the vaulting table, and yet she manages to push off and do a tuck somersault. Watch here, she comes on very high. She's right on her fingertips.
I see. It's a good thing that the vaulting table is that wide. If that was the old horse, could have been disastrous.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, there have been some serious injuries with that Yurchenko style of vaulting on the old vaulting horse, and that is the reason for this introduction to the new vaulting table, which has been in the international scene for about 3 years now.
Olivia Courtney's second vault.
That's a little bit better, and she added another half twist on that, so good for her.
A lot of power for this young competitor at age 12.
She's really talented because she didn't necessarily have the great mechanics, but she's talented enough to pull it around.
And a 9.4 on that second vault. In the 17 and older category, this is Cassandra Martin from the Hill School. Follow up on that, Bart. The point you're making about timing, there's nothing you can do about it. The Olympics every 4 years as opposed to the Worlds or the national competition. You wonder how many gymnasts miss their window just by happenstance.
Many do. In fact, one of the best gymnasts in the country last year, Nastia Liukin, was just too young to go to the Olympics in Athens.
By age limitation.
You have to turn 16 during the calendar year of that world or Olympic competition to be age eligible at the senior level.
Which wasn't always the case. How old was Nadia at her first?
She was 14 and a half
yeah.
at her first Olympics, and at that time you could be 15 during the calendar year and still be eligible to compete in the Olympics. Interesting thing about Cassandra, she's accepted a full ride to the University of Alabama to compete in college next year.
And you say that's a real hotbed of women's gymnastics right now.
I was down there last week to see the Alabama-LSU dual meet. There were 10,200 raving fans. College gymnastics is really on the rise.
Yeah, I mentioned the telecast of the Super 6 was very exciting. The crowd was really worked up. Very colorful.
Cassandra was first at the 2003 Level 10 Junior Nationals and third in 2004. You can see she has really all the qualities of a great gymnast. Beautiful extension and high leaps, wonderful execution, and yet she also has power in her tumbling.
Cassandra Martin from Hill School and heading on to join the Tide at Alabama a year from now. Roll them.
Lay out front full. Just a little check on that landing. And she finished up with a clean 1.5 twister. Not the most difficulty, but at this level, she can still get a decent score with a routine like that. The rules here are slightly different than the Olympic rules.
And it's a 9.40 for Cassandra Martin. And Corey Hartung will know a score to beat because she's competing in the same age category out of Hill School, 17 and older. This is Corey Hartung from Hill School.
She's from Irwin, Pennsylvania. She accepted a scholarship at the University of Florida, so she'll be headed to Gainesville next year. They also have a fantastic program, great programs down in the SEC. Beautiful triple twist for her opening tumbling pass.
University of Georgia, perennial contender for the national title. Penn State, of course, locally, New Hampshire, always in the mix. Women's gymnastics in the collegiate level really in a hot spurt right now.
Many years ago, few of the elite and Olympic level gymnasts opted to go to college, but more and more of the best gymnasts in the country are realizing that a full scholarship to a major school like Florida or Stanford or Penn State, not only is it a lot of value to the family, it's a way for these young ladies to extend their gymnastics career in a terrific environment. These college programs are just fantastic.
And ensure some life beyond the mat.
So many people focus on gymnastics and think only of the Olympics, and yet the Olympics is for so few. Out of the nearly 4 million gymnasts in the United States, only 6 make the Olympic team. And yet most of these young ladies have a chance to get their scholarships, educations paid for because of their world-class gymnastics.
Very artistic routine by Corey Hartung from Hill School. It'll be interesting to see how her scores compare with Cassandra Martin.
Handspring layout front with a double twist. Getting a hug from Jen Bundy, who's the assistant coach there.
Rotation 2 continues, and we will continue from the Parkette's Invitational in Allentown, Pennsylvania with Bart Connor. We'll be right back.